Welcome, Empress, to the hall of the Imperial Universal Ruling Council. I am the head Imperial Law Arbiter. Memory flared. I remember this man. He peed his pants when Daddy hit the wall beside his head. He was the one that said Mommy and Daddy had no choice but to collar me on my 5th birthday and forced me to be my mommy's pet. This is the individual that spoke to me like I was trash that day. Hate filled me and must have showed on my face. The little man suddenly backed up clumsily. His expression was one of great fear. I looked at him and said in a very angry voice, "I know and remember you, little man. Stay out of my way. It will bode most ill for you if you don't." He stammered, but, my lady. The guard in front of me grabbed the little man and removed him from in front of me. I was escorted into the chamber. I couldn't believe what I saw. Tier after tier of multitudes of faces. Each individual was dressed extremely ornately and in what appeared to be their finest attire. There were guards stationed at every conceivable location throughout the room. The room appeared to cover miles and miles and extended beyond my range of vision. In the dead center of the room, a raised dais with 2 large chairs dead center. I heard soft murmurs arise as I entered. Some of the voices were saying how adorable I was. Some were really impressed how beautiful I was. Some were extremely taken with the fact I was 18 years old and so mature. I also heard fear in the voices. There were those who feared me and the power I possessed at such a young age. What they were going to discover. What I was going to discover. I was escorted to a raised dais. There were 2 large and ornately carved wooden and ivory chairs sitting in the middle surrounded by small columns with many different flags draped over them. Against one of the chairs, a very beautifully carved staff lay. A man approached me and bowed. He said, "Welcome, my lady. I am your assigned Imperial Grand Vizier. I hold the position Prince Paul Blake did before your unfortunate issue. If you wish, another can be appointed before the proceeding begin. My name is David. I am the Crown Prince of Theta Minor." An awareness of this and what to say came to me. I was really impressed with this. I could feel it as the Guardian interface integrated the necessary information on what I was to say and do next. I waved my hand and said, "I accept you, David, until such time I find another that is better or you no longer can perform your duties." He bowed deeply and replied, "Thank you, my lady. I will perform my duties honestly and faithfully to the best of my ability." I placed my hand on his head and said, "This is all I ask of anyone." He turned to the many, many people and said in a loud booming voice, "All rise and pay homage to the Empress of the known universe as explored by man." There was a multitude of sounds as all rose and bowed or curtsied and said in unison, "My lady." In the same unison, all were seated and were dead silent. I looked at David and beckoned to him. He approached quickly. I whispered, "What in this universe am I supposed to do?" David smiled and replied quietly, "Anything your heart desires, my lady. You are second in authority only to the Emperor who is away." David at this point escorted me to and sat me in the largest chair. I looked at him bewildered and said in a very anxious whisper, "I don't have a clue as to what to do here." David looked at me and said quietly, "Anything you do, is what you do, my lady. It becomes universal imperial law." I sat in the huge chair. I was scared down to the deepest part of my heart. 2 things happened at the same time. A click in my head as AI control vector enabled and the soft voice of the new computer systems on my wrists started speaking to me. No takeover of my actions, just soft instruction filled me and was recorded in the new data bank and a new profile created which then became my memory and knowledge. Then, click again. I knew how to fulfill my duties and was guaranteed to be completely free to do so without AI control vector. I blinked at the sudden understanding that flooded me. I was slightly dizzy with the new knowledge that had infused me. I knew what was expected of me and what I must now do. I looked at David and said, "Imperial Grand Vizier, what is the grave business that comes before me on this day?"